So in today's video, I'm going to again discuss some words, and I hope these words will help you to improve your vocabulary and also to add diversity to your writing. So let's start with the word tome, that's T-O-M-E. And tome essentially means a thick book. So now there are many situations where you have a thick book. For example, I have my dictionary right here, and you can check out this dictionary that from the size that this is an example of a tome. So again, dictionaries are some of the favorite books you can have. And so whenever you have a thick book, instead of calling it a thick book or even worse a fat book, you can call it a tome. So now the next word on my list is trepidation. And trepidation is a feeling of fear that something bad may happen. So let us try to combine these two words, tome and trepidation. So we can create a sentence such as Ram went from grade 8 to grade 10 and then to grade 12, his books turned to tomes, and this fact filled him with trepidation. So that's something which can happen. Now the next word on my list is veracity, and veracity means truthfulness. One more word I have is corroborate. Corroborate basically means to confirm or give support to a theory or statement. So both these words are useful in technical writing. So we can come up with sentences such as Smith's theory was corroborated by experiments performed by Chandra. So whenever you are doing a piece of theoretical work, you need to validate this or corroborate this. And basically, the veracity of any theory can only be confirmed by experiments. So here again, the word veracity can be used in many situations, that whenever you have a theory, its veracity can only be confirmed by experiments or by comparison with a different piece of published literature. Now the next word on my list is scrupulous. So scrupulous is somebody who is careful, thorough, and gives a lot of importance to detail. So that's an example of a scrupulous person. Scrupulous has a second meaning, that somebody who is concerned about doing things the right way or in the correct way. So it has a kind of moral connotation here, that the person has a good morality. So we could have a sentence such as Rao was scrupulous in his research work. We knew that he performed his experiments meticulously, and we could be certain about the veracity of his data. So that's a possible use of these words. Now the next word is besmirch. Now besmirch means to damage someone's reputation. So we could create a sentence such as we are certain of the scrupulousness of Smith's research. Please don't question the veracity of his data and try to besmirch his reputation. So that's a possible use of these words in a scholarly setting. Now the next word I have in my list is prolific. So prolific is to be present in large numbers or to be plentiful. Now prolific is often used in conjunction with somebody who publishes a lot of papers, writes a lot of books, takes part in a lot of movies, makes a lot of songs, or anything like that. So typically in a creative field, there are people who produce much more in terms of quantity than somebody else. And so these people are essentially prolific people. So we can create a sentence like, Smith is a prolific writer of papers on smart structures. So again, this is a word which is often used to describe researchers who publish a lot of papers or writers who publish a lot of books and so on. Now the next word on my list is placate. And placate is to make someone less peeved or messed up, let us say. So if somebody is not happy with you or angry with you, then you may want to placate this particular person. So that's Placate. And I will provide the full spelling below in my comment list. So we can have a statement such as, the referee was furious with Chen's paper because he had not cited his seminal work in the field. In his response to the referee, Chen tried to placate this referee by citing his papers, which he had previously not mentioned. So again, that's a use of placate in this particular context. Now one more word I have in my list is redundant. So redundant is something which is no longer needed or useful. And so you can use redundant in several settings, such as closed form solutions of mathematical problems have become somewhat redundant due to the prolificity of numerical methods. So again, that is something which can happen. Now the next word on my list is dogmatic. So again, we have discovered this in the context of pragmatic. This is somewhat of the reverse of pragmatic. So dogmatic is somebody who believes too much in the principles or truth, and it has a somewhat negative connotation that this person has a fanatical viewpoint about a certain thing. So in the technical context, we can write a statement such as, Chen was dogmatic in his view that beam theory could not be used to model rotor blades. No degree of persuasion would make him change his mind on this topic, and therefore he rejected the thesis. So again, this is the use of this particular word, and when people take very stubborn views on a particular topic, which can happen in the research community, we can say that person is a very dogmatic person. So you need to be careful about people who are very dogmatic on certain things, because that dogma may be a particular perception of the person, and it may not necessarily be the truth, but it may be his or her particular version of truth. So these are some words I had for you today. So again, I hope you benefited from these words, and again, you can use it in certain settings to diversify your language. And whenever you write things in your own words, when you are summarizing papers and so on, you can use some of these words to diversify your writing. So thank you very much for watching this video, and stay tuned to my channel for further videos.